Oh, and we're live. Welcome back, everybody, to episode 258 Behind the Tool Belt. Thank you for joining us on this morning edition. Today we have another awesome, I'm going to consider Chris co-host this morning on Behind the Tool Belt, episode 258. Stay tuned. We will be back after our short intro from our sponsors.
TC Backer. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. TC Backer.
Welcome to Behind the Tool Belt, where the stories are bold, the conversations are real, and the insights come to you live, raw, and uncut. Every week, host Ty Cobb Backer sits down with game changers, trailblazers, and industry leaders who aren't afraid to tell it like it is. No filters, no scripts, just the truth. Please welcome your host of Behind the Tool Belt, Ty Cobb Backer.
The 5th annual 21 Turkey Salute took place in the heart of downtown York. Volunteers and businesses got to work at 7 this morning, aiming to feed close to 1,000 people. South Penn Street closes down from West Market Street to Mason Avenue. There's a tent for cooking and tables for serving and seating. 21 Turkey Salute was started in 2020. TC Backer Construction was deemed an essential business and allowed to stay open during the COVID-19 pandemic.
We felt like we needed to give back. There was a lot of food insecurity going on at the time in York County.
Every year the goal is to feed more people at this event. This year 25 turkeys are being deep fried at one time. They started with 21 fryers and added one more every year. That makes for a grand total of 100 turkeys for people to gratefully gobble up.
We're gonna have Thanksgiving dinner and we almost never get Thanksgiving dinner.
It's an annual event of giving thanks and giving those in need something to be thankful for.
Wow. And we're back.
You did a good job on that, buddy.
Yeah, that was good. God, that was so good. Shit.
That
was good. If I had ever forgotten why we did that,
yeah.
Oh shit. Fuck Chris. Shoot, that was good.
That's what it's about, bro. I'm having trouble putting it in words. We get to experience this every year. Through the hustle and bustle and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, in the back of our minds, we understand why we do this and we understand the impact that we have. But even all of us that have been doing this for so long, man, like I still don't really think that we grasp the importance of this and the impact that we have, not only on the people that unfortunately don't get to have Thanksgiving some years, the people that are forced to sleep outside in this weather, all the ways that someone can be impacted that this could help. But if you also look at the other side of it, the people on our team, our families, the people that we do business with that come down and support us, their kids that they bring, like the impact that has, man. I know I seen all the kids on there. Everyone has their kids down there, and like everyone is just they want to help. You know what I mean? And this is something that our kids are not going to forget. And Ty, I know a big reason that you do this stuff is because of your mom. We could be having generational impact on our kids. Our kids could be growing up and seeing the stuff that we do. And they want to carry the torch too. So like this could be having generational impact even within our team and the people that support us.
Yeah, no, it's so good, Chris. You're right. Absolutely. The first year that we did it, I know we knew we made an impact, but until Vic actually captivated it and gave us the 1,000-foot view, because we're in the trenches, just getting it done, pulling it off, putting it together. That content is invaluable. I mean, we couldn't put a monetary value on the content that Vic just shared with us really, I think, put it, not that it hasn't been in perspective, but that really just put it into perspective. And I thought, even if there's a few of us that may not see eye to eye over the course of the 12 months at work, right? Where we had our differences or disagreements or agreed to disagrees, whatever the case might be. But at that moment where we pulled together, and I was looking at Amanda, and I didn't see anybody in that content where it was like, man, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to use this as an example. Chris, I know we don't talk or hang out like we used to, but at that moment that brought the entire team together. A lot of us that don't commingle, work side by side with each other, on a day-to-day because of the expansion and growth of the company. We all have our roles that we have to play because of that role, right? We're able to perform that where, we get together that one day, the day before Thanksgiving every year, and pull that off where, I see you and I see what you're doing. And I know the impact that you're having on the company as a whole. I see Amanda, I see Tam, I see Lauren, but because of everybody doing their part, and it's just an example of everybody doing their part. Like Amanda, she documented every single thing during the process of hosting a 21 turkey salute. So now we have an SOP for that. Right. So then regardless if any of us are here next year, it will happen. It's going to happen. She documented it, but man, I don't even know what the hell I'm trying to say. Just it took all of us to do that. And it was like, it was our vision. Right. And I don't know if we knew what it exactly looked like at the time. We just knew we wanted to feed people during, a crisis. There was a crisis. We were in the midst of a crisis. And, for us to remove ourselves from self and pour into other people, that's how we got through that. If anyone ever wanted to know, like, how did you guys get through, the pandemic and supply shortages and price increases and all those things, that's how we did it. First and foremost, we unified as a team. We didn't think of ourselves. We poured into other people for that entire year and have since then and poured into each other and lifted each other up. And, selfishly, it has helped our fellowship, our culture, our camaraderie to levels that I don't think anyone could ever fathom unless you actually got to experience the 21 turkey salute. I was going to add an F-bomb in there because it was amazing. I wanted to emphasize, the 21 turkey salute has impacted me more probably than the people that we've impacted. Just like when we went to Uganda, everybody's like, oh, thank you for coming. It's like, no, thank you for allowing us to come and do something like this. And same for the 21 turkey, like, thank you, York County, for allowing us to do something like this, because whether they know it or not, it has impacted us as much, if not more, as we did the people. And then that poor sweet little girl during that interview, she looked at her mom where I think she knew at that moment she kind of stepped on her own foot when she said, we don't get to have Thanksgiving dinner very often. I don't know how that, but of course we were able to offer that for them, and looking forward to doing it again at a much higher level next year. Whether it's 2 locations, I'm pretty sure we're going to try to pursue that and have affect the east side and the west side and stuff like that. So, I guess that's what this is all about. And this is how the Behind the Tool Belt got started, right? It was our way of reaching out to the community, letting them know, what community event that we had coming up, and now it's turned into this where not only are we impacting our community, local communities, but we're impacting communities across the country now. Our industry, distribution, manufacturing. We talk about this all the time. We've had people on here from GAF to Certainty to local contractors to contractors across the country. It has just gone to leaps and bounds, man. So Chris, thank you. I know I don't tell you enough. Thank you for everything. I'll give you some public notoriety. Without you, this couldn't happen, whether you're on the show or not. You're the founding, one of the founding members of Behind the Tool Belt and 21 Turkey Salute. And because of what you do on a day-to-day basis, we're able to continue to carry this torch across the freaking country now, the world. Here I am in St. Martin today, unplugging, unwinding a little bit because of the hard work that you put in. And hopefully I've reciprocated that to you and everyone else at TC Baxter to allow them to get some time off, unplug, have a life, not necessarily all the time beyond your wildest dreams, but just to provide a good, wholesome life for everybody there. And you've played a huge part in watching people create families, buy homes, cars, houses, making the dream big enough for their dreams to fit in.
Yeah. I got a lot to follow up on there. I mean, you just said a lot of really, really good stuff. First, thank you. It's been a hell of a ride, man. It's been a hell of a ride. I've been by your side for quite some time here. We've gone through some victories. We've gone through some learning lessons learned. And I was going to say failures, but it's not a failure. We've learned a lot. We've grown a lot. And we've done some really, really cool shit. Stuff that, is going to have permanent impacts on both of our lives, our family's lives, the people that are around us, that surround themselves with us. It's been a heck of a ride, man. And like, I'm super excited to see exactly where this is going to go. This isn't just a job, man. You touched on, the camaraderie and bringing people together, and like throughout the year, yes, sometimes people don't see eye to eye, and it's not like a dislike or anything like that, but like, work happens, man. And anyone watching this, whether you're live watching right now or you're watching on the replay, I know a lot of people in the industry watch this. It is no secret in the construction industry that it is usually the field guys versus the office guys. It's like, it's always those are two different worlds. Those are two completely different worlds. Ty, me and you are one of the few fortunate people that have gotten to experience both sides of that fence. So we have empathy for the field guys. We understand what's going on. I also have empathy for the office people, as do you. We know what goes on behind the scenes, what it takes to actually run this beast, man. There's a lot of stuff that people don't always see eye to eye for. But like you said, man, when we do these events, that doesn't matter. Like all egos are aside. Everyone comes together. And it is a very healthy family atmosphere, man. Like everyone just has so much love for each other. We pull off some pretty epic shit. It is really, really cool. And it gives an opportunity for people that don't get to see each other every day. You know what I mean? It's very rarely do I get to see, a lot of the field guys. It's very rarely that a lot of the field guys get to see you or get to see Sammy or Lauren or you know what I mean? Like everyone gets to come together and do that stuff. We get to bring our kids. People bring their wives, their girlfriends. We have all of our, Mark Jones brings his family. He's been a big supporter. We have all the local people that do business with us, that support us in any way, shape, or form, usually try to stop out, help out. And, the part of that interview where that little girl, that is why we do this, man. I have some stats up on my screen here that I wanted to read to people, about, hunger in the United States, and how real this actually is. So since 2023, it's been an average of 13.5% of U.S. households are food insecure. That translates to 18 million homes in the United States are food insecure. And basically what that means is food isn't guaranteed every day. It's not guaranteed that you're going to get 3 square meals a day. There's a lot of people out there in our country. This is the land of the free. This is, the land of opportunity. But just like anywhere else, man, we have people in here that There's people that are getting up right now going to work that they don't know how they're going to feed their kids tonight. That is real life. It's 1 in 3 households of single parents don't have guaranteed food, which, dude, that's a huge number, man. That's a huge number. So to hear that from that little girl, like, I was taking a moment when we were under the tent, and the kids that come in, they always end up taking over that pie station. You know what I mean? They're always handing out the pies, and like their energy is just great. Everyone smiles, and the people coming through the line love to get the pies from the kids because the kids are all happy and excited. And, every person that went through that line had a smile on their face. And we talked about this on the day of the turkey salute. For all we know, man, like that moment right there could be the only time that they're going to smile this year. You know what I mean? Like that, it is a true moment of happiness. That's what this is about. And it's hard to put it in words, how it makes me feel. I just love being a part of it. I love that, the universe has brought me and you together, has allowed me to be a part of this, right, wrong, or indifferent, no matter what the hell we go through, throughout the year with business. I know that you got my back. I know that you got all of our backs. And I know that all the people that surround me every day have my back, have your back. And that's what it's about, man. We could easily be those people that, just come to work, collect our paycheck, go home, and not share the wealth with the community. But I truly, truly, truly believe in karma. I believe in making those positive deposits into the bank. And dude, we make a ton of them as a company. And I truly believe that has been one of the underlying reasons as to our success. You know what I mean? Because we are so quick just to give that shit away. If that makes sense.
Totally makes sense, man. You got to give it away to keep it, and that's whether it's knowledge, whether that's success, whether that's allowing others to participate in the success. And, we measure success a little bit differently, and that's based upon the impact, the lives that we impact is how we measure our success on a day-to-day basis. And when you were talking, Chris, I thought, how cool is it to come up with some wild ideas and bring a lot of cool people with us to have impact on our community, and how fun that has actually been. And nobody said that we couldn't do the things that we're doing. It's just, we were crazy enough to come up with a badass ideas, that we do multiple things throughout the course of the year. And it's, we get to bring, even the beginning of TC Backer, when we founded it, July 17, 2008, I had no idea the impact that we were going to have. And fortunately, it was more about everyone else that decided to come with me, and everybody else that we did work for, more so than me worrying about, it was just crazy times back then. It was, I was more concerned. I wasn't even worried about if I was going to lose my house or anything like that. I think, like you said, karma plays a big part in a lot of this, and in the universe, the energy in the universe. Like, if, the more that you give, the more it gives to you. And I remember most of my worries over the years has been, how are we going to get all of this work done? Not necessarily, how are we going to pay the bills, and how am I going to get paid? It was always, oh man, like, we got so much work. Like, how are we going to get all this stuff done? Which is a lot better than laying in bed worrying about. And don't get me wrong, we've had financial struggles. What business doesn't? What household doesn't at times overextend themselves, gamble on a venture that may or may not pay off, whatever the case might be. But the universe has always blessed us and those that came through TC Backer Most stay, thank God for that, that come through. But if you don't stay, I know they leave different people. And those that do tend to leave tend to come back at times or want to come back. And sometimes we have room for them. Sometimes we don't have room for them to come back. But it's just, if anyone ever questioned success, like, why aren't I successful? I think a lot of it has to do with mindset. Has it always been about me, I, or has it been about how can I help? Where am I needed? Not necessarily what am I taking off the table, but it's necessary about what am I bringing and putting on the table? What am I giving? How am I helping out? Where can I lend a hand? It's shit. And sometimes just listening to somebody, and having empathy and putting yourself. And fortunately, like you said, Chris, we've been on both sides of the construction spectrum. We've been out in the field. We've been in the office. We've been down and out. We've lived our best lives ever, and have lost it. And it has been given back. And, we've been able to, and I think until you've had enough learning lessons, like you had mentioned, when you've had enough setbacks, not necessarily failures, I think that's when true success happens. If you can grind through those down times and keep your head high and ask yourself the question, why is this happening for me? And not necessarily, woe is me. Why is this happening to me? I think if you can keep a positive, open mind and look at any situation, we just had a situation not that long ago come up. And what it created another process, right? Somebody came into my office. They're like, hey, this happened. Okay, cool. I think they were expecting a different reaction. I was like, okay. The first thing that came out of my mouth is why did this happen for us? And I started thinking, I was like, all right, well, there's definitely something that we need to change here. And now, unfortunately, we got to put in the work. Fortunately, we have to put in the work to create an SOP, another process, an SSOP, our standards, systems, operational processes is what I call it. I came up with that a couple of weeks ago, an SSOP, because standards, we have to set the standard, right? We have to set the mindset. We have to set the tempo. We have to set, all of the bar, and every now and then that bar up there, sometimes that bar needs to be raised a little higher, as time goes on and our mindsets have to shift and positions change and it creates, and this is what's so crazy about it all. It's like it has impacted everyone positively. Maybe at the moment they don't realize it. But as time goes on, it created another opportunity, another position, another SOP, another process that has made the quality of our lives, the quality of the business, by continuously just trying to do the next right thing and looking for the silver lining in any and all situations that might happen to us. I don't know why I went down that little rabbit hole, but I just, after watching that video, that got started because of a bad situation. Okay. The 21 Turkey was created due to a bad situation that happened for us and has created opportunities for people. I mean, okay, Amanda is now our events coordinator. We didn't know 5 years ago that when we started the 21 Turkey Salute that we were going to need an events coordinator. Right. So that's, I think to sum it up, that was my point. Like all of these things, right? Like, why did the pandemic happen for us? I mean, I could go on this. That could be a whole nother podcast on the financial eye openers. Just so many things that that's why that happened for us. The things that we learned through that, and what
we do business a different way now because of that.
Yeah, totally,
completely. Like everything about this business is different based on that situation, and we won't be affected by it ever again.
No, not in that way.
Nope. You can shut the shit down, but you can't shut this shit down. You know what I mean? Like this,
Yeah.
it's benefited, like you just said, man, it's benefited us in so many different ways where, we've had aha moments. And, we didn't even realize that we were doing it. We didn't even realize that, the moves that we were making and how it was going to benefit us until, now we're ahead of the curve now. You know what I mean? Like we act, and we plan out and are prepared for these things if anything were to happen. You know what I mean? We the meetings that we have, the committees that we formed, and everything inside this company, and even something as simple as an events coordinator. Like we've grown and we've learned through all these things, and we've developed processes, and we have protocols in place to make sure that it doesn't matter what's thrown at us. If we do our jobs and we show up and we come here and do it for the right reasons, we're not going to be affected by this stuff. We're going to continue to grow
from it, for sure. Definitely. There's always something to be learned, in any and all, even in good times, right? We can't become complacent. And I think with these events that have happened in our lives, even before 5 years ago, with we've been able to monitor good times and the bad times. Like, what have we learned from these good times? How can we continue to keep the good times coming, right? How can we avoid something bad happening in the future by trying to stay at least five steps ahead? And how is this going to affect us 3 months from now, 3 years from now? And when you get an amazing group of individuals together, like-minded, in the same room together, like you were talking about committees and stuff like that. We have an events committee. We have each department has their own meetings weekly, sometimes daily, and to keep the vision, and empowering people to allow them to have or create positions, have their own meetings and things like that, and not be held back. From the ideas, the creativity that comes from allowing people to do things like that, and forming groups, friendships. Like you said, at work, it's a lot more than just work. It's a lot of relationships have been developed on different levels that I think most of us didn't know existed. Inside of work, outside of work, and I think what has allowed us to find that dimension, that different dimension of relationship, is the community events that we host and the traveling that we get to do sometimes, whether it's RoofCon or SRC. We'll bring a couple people to that this year, to see how other people are doing it. And I think our experiences along the way too, of either working for other people, or the experiences that we've had working here, we always look for the lesson to be learned, and the personal development. Let's talk about personal development for a second, where we encourage personal development and whether it's reading books or going to events and stuff like that. And it's just, that's where it really starts. It starts in here, right? Like what, what the one thing that's been sticking out to me, and I think Eric Brewer posted a good bit of stuff about, working as hard on your relationships at home as you do at work, right? That has been something big for me over the past, I don't know. I've always been trying to work on that. I've never been able to find the work-life blend, balance, whatever you want to call it. But, I think right now I feel like I'm banging on all 8 cylinders with all 3 kids, all 3 grandkids. And that in itself, when I leave for work in the morning, and I've had a really cool conversation with Rocket in the morning, there's not much throughout the course of the day that can set me back in something, right, because of the mood that I left in at the house. And there's a couple other things that I do in the morning too, to prepare myself for the day. I read a couple books and I have some quiet time. And I get to spend at least 15, 20, sometimes 30 minutes with Rocket in the morning and stuff like that. And now we're playing golf together, and added that into our workout regimen, where we swing the club at least, I don't know how many, couple hundred times probably every day. And, has brought I got a 16-year-old kid that wants to hang out with me every day.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I didn't have that necessarily with my first two kids. And I've gotten better over the years at their love languages and what really means a lot to them. And that in itself has helped me learn other people's languages too, like whether it's public recognition, behind closed doors recognition, money, whatever inspires other people. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Is just kind of not trying to be a people pleaser. I've done that, been there, did that. And typically I end up putting myself in a bad situation where I end up getting hurt because of going over and beyond and then setting expectations. And an expectation is just a premeditated resentment. I've learned to put boundaries up a little bit, not become cold, but try to put boundaries up and stuff like that. And a lot of that stuff I've learned at home. I've learned it from Jana. I've learned it from my kids. I've learned where I screwed up with my kids. And, I try to apply those same principles in everything that I touch and any person that I come in contact with on a day-to-day basis. And I'm not perfect at it. I still fail. I still don't have enough time to get up into your office like I did the other morning. It was like, hey, dude, before my day gets started, man, I just want to tell you, basically, I love you and that I didn't forget you're up here, kind of thing like that. And I'm trying to get better at that because honestly, that's my job today. And all of our jobs is to encourage and inspire and empower everybody at work and make sure that they feel trusted, right? And they feel comfortable and they feel safe. And honestly, that's just and again, that started at home. When I look at Rocket and he's sleeping and he doesn't have a worry in the world, I want to look at everybody at work the same way too. I want to look at them and know that they, I'm sure they have problems at home and things like that. But as long as they're at work, they know they can feel safe. And because of their job, hopefully they feel safe at home. And that's my career. That's my career today. That's my career path. That's the one I chose. Today is to have the mission, the vision, and the goals that we're all, rowing in the same direction. And it's pretty cool to have you along for the ride on that, dude.
It's really cool to be able to be here and experience all these things, man. And like when I said earlier about the amount of growth that we've experienced, I wasn't even talking about revenue or anything like that. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. Because if Ty, out of all of our personal developments and all of our growth that we've experienced as human beings, one thing that is 100% for sure, that if you're doing stuff for the right reasons, the money comes, the success comes, all that kind of stuff that, we live in a world that we're measured by success, by wealth, you know what I mean? But we were having a conversation the other week in your office, me and you were talking and, I don't consider myself materialistic driven. I don't think that you're materialistic driven. It's nice to have nice things. It's nice to not, to not wonder where I'm going to get my meal tonight. You know what I mean? Like I have a roof over my family's secure and everything, but I have dreams. You have dreams. We all have dreams. We all have goals. Money is a tool to get those. But at the same time, man, like the things that I have that are important to me, they don't cost money. You know what I mean? Like, I got to have 20 some people at my house on Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? I got to get, everyone in one room together, kids, brothers, sisters, moms, dads from me and Sam's family, like everyone, two families all together for Thanksgiving. That's the kind of stuff that I care about. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that really, really matters. You can't buy it with money. No matter how successful I am at work, the things that truly, truly matter to me, that make me put my head on my pillow and sleep without a worry. I can't make enough money to make those things happen. I have to be a good dad. I have to be a good person. I have to be a good teammate. I have to be a good friend. I have to, I have to do what I have to do and learn the lessons that I learned in order to understand that, You know what I mean? Because like you said, man, like I haven't always done it right. You know, I lived a portion of my life where I was selfish, where I thought that I needed to do this in order to get that. And like, unfortunately, it takes time to understand these things. I truly don't think that I would be the person that I am today had I not come here, had I not gotten to experience these things. And just, you know, just being able to come here and be a part of the team, you know, being in a leadership position is very difficult, man. It's you kind of touched on it earlier, just trying to understand people, and understand, you know, having empathy and understanding what they could be going through, you know, what drives them, what motivates them, and being able to mesh all that stuff together. You know, you have to do it on an extreme level because you're sitting at the top with all these junior leaders and all the people that they lead underneath them that are all looking up at you. You know what I mean? I have a small department that I get to, you know, be a co-leader in, and, you know, watching all the growth and everything, but like understanding that every person in this company is different, man. Like everyone comes from a different walk of life. And like, you know, we have maybe 150 people that work for TC Backer. That's 150 different realities of this world. You know what I mean? The world is the world, but everyone's upbringings and experiences and the things that they're going through make their vision of the world different. You know what I mean? You have 150 different visions of this world, and like, you know, what might not be a big deal to me could be the end of the world for somebody. You know, and I don't know exactly where I was going with that, but like, like what matters to me it's not like my success today isn't measured by financial, materialistic, any of that kind of stuff. Like, like you said, man, like you're firing on all 8 cylinders with Jana, with, you know, with your kids, with your grandkids, with work, all that kind of stuff. And like, that's the stuff that matters, man. Like when I'm not here anymore, I want to make sure that my kids have the right work ethic. They're doing it for the right reasons. They're empathetic and they care about people. Because at the end of the day, bro, like, you know, Ed Milet, what does he say? People just want to be loved, bro. Like people want to know that you genuinely care about them, for no financial gain, for no reason other than they're a human being and they matter, man. And like, that's why we do these things. You know what I mean? There is some days that we get our guts kicked in at work, man. Like, you know, poor us, we have all these things. Like, how are we going to get this work done? How are we going to do this? You know, there's some days that it just feels like we can't do anything right. And like, we're our biggest critics, but like, at the end of the day, man, like we're lucky that we get to come here and experience that, man. Like, I know that at the end of the day, if I come in and I do my best, and I do it for the right reasons, I'm going to have success. And it's not, and I don't mean money. You know what I mean? I'm going to have success because I'm putting the right message out there, to my team, to my family, and all that stuff. And bro, how hard is it to get lost in that? Like, to lose that vision sometimes. And, you know, we have these community events and everything, and where it really brings it back into perspective on why we do these things and the message that we're truly, truly trying to pass off to the community and to our families.
No, it's good. That's so good, Chris. You touched on it. And that's why it's important that we continue to do our community events, right? Sometimes it smacks us back into reality. I think Zach Fisher mentioned something in the comments there about, you know, when we think we have it so bad, right? And we put ourselves in a situation where we're downtown handing out plates of food. It puts it in perspective, especially with the content that Vic captured. You know what I'm saying? Right there, it humbles you quickly. Sometimes you think you got it bad till you see some of the other struggle, right? And to have a place where we can all call home at TC Backer to to, and that's the thing, man. Like we were just try to keep it where the sky's the limit, Chris. We talked about that 1,000 times, and that's one of the first things I still to this day tell people when I do an interview with them. It's like, look, the sky's the limit here, man. We can take this as far as you guys want to take this within reason, right? I've learned to have to try to reel things back in sometimes. But realistically, I mean, the sky's the limit, and we have so many other things. Like I can truly state right now that, we are just getting started. We're still just getting started. Like there's so many other things coming on the horizon right now that's going to create so much more impact and more opportunities for growth at the company, personally and professionally. Different departments, different facets of the company, and I can't wait to come home and share a lot of these new ventures that we have. There's a couple I mentioned earlier, but there's some other things that have come to fruition a lot quicker than I thought they were gonna. And it really comes down to the core group of people that are being placed in my life today. And from doing the next right thing, and people want to be around good people, right? And I know I want to be around good people, and that's the cool thing too. We actually we kind of get to pick and choose who we allow in our circles, and hopefully we make the right judgment call and bring in those people into our circle, and that way we can continue to keep growing. Nothing's holding us back. Nothing hinders us in that growth that we so love to be in, that growth mode, right? Personally, that personal development growth mode. And I like the challenge. I was thinking this morning about, it's not a struggle anymore. It's just, I enjoy the challenge, right? Like, it's like, what's our next challenge? A couple of weeks ago, I was still having a conversation with Vic. It's like, okay, what's next? Like, I'm starting to feel comfortable. You know what I mean? Like what's next here? What's next for Behind the Tool Belt? What's next for TC Backer? I'm starting to feel not complacent whatsoever. Like I usually see that red flag coming a mile away pretty quickly. But I'm starting to feel comfortable in a couple areas here. And it's like, okay, what's the next big thing? What's the, for Behind the Tool Belt? Is it the type of guest that we have coming on? Is it, some other things, and we do have some things in the works too for Behind the Tool Belt. We got Brick by Brick. That's going to be like a podcast within the podcast. There'll be, some little 5, 10, 15-minute clips of some recordings that I started to do by myself, sitting in my office, sitting at home, sitting in my bedroom, wherever I was at that moment where I had moments of clarity that I just want to really share with people. Some of the deep shit that's some of it's not very sugar coated. Like, not saying that Behind the Tool Belt's sugar coated, but just my opinions and thoughts and visions, Chris. The things that you get to hear on a day-to-day basis of the predictions or things, the thoughts, because I'm always 5 moves ahead. I'm always thinking. I'm continuously thinking, and why I've been able to do that is because I've surrounded myself around really smart people. I listen to the content that I choose to listen to, and I come up with my own conclusions a lot of times, and I kind of put pieces together, and I just really want to get some of that message out to some people, whether it's managers, CEOs, someone just starting out as a gutterman, right? Like, keep your head up. Like, that's not a bad place to start either, especially where we're at, right? It's more than a job, right? This is impact. We're having impact, and we get to show up every day and impact our coworkers and the person sitting next to us, and not just that, homeowners and man, it's just, man, what a good time of year. We're coming into Christmas, and I can't believe it's going to be here in a couple weeks. This year, this year things are a little bit different at the Backer household. We're going to be in Bluffton next week with Mike and their team like that. And probably for the whole week, I'm going to see Brian down in Greenville and stuff. And really, while we're doing it, it'd be so much easier for me to just stay home to the first of the year. But I got to make sure that we're having the impact, the message, the image, the standard is the same down there, so we can continuously impact people's lives in a less stressful way, right? And I don't know, it's just it's good, man. I wanted to read something. It's kind of off. It's kind of off topic here a little bit, but I had a conversation with my business coach last week, I think it was, and we were talking about the podcast, and I'm real big on consistency, and I think he posted something that I think inspired him to post this on social, and he calls it entrepreneurship burnout is a real thing, and I blame it mostly on one thing. That's goal addiction, right? And this not just for entrepreneurs. This is for anybody in a leadership position, and a TC backer. Everybody's in a leadership position because we are all co-leaders. So if I use the word entrepreneurship, I mean for us leaders and co-leaders and co-workers. So you'll set business goals, pursue them relentlessly, achieve them, and then think, what's next? That sounds like me, right? You're always pushing yourself to think bigger and work harder, all the while being your own worst critic. Carry the weight of shame of not being where you should be by now. You'll create an identity around being consistent or being the hardest worker in the room. This cycle repeats itself forever. The only two options to break this cycle are: one, literally die, or two, become aware of the patterns and make conclusions, make conscious changes. The personal development space has created a vacuum where logic cannot breathe due to an overabundance of inputs telling you to pursue things based on the emotion of feeling lack. The intentions behind this motivational message are good, but they never consider the sacrifice and damage that occurs as a result. Entrepreneurs, leaders, co-workers, co-leaders have a long history of pursuing success by sacrificing their relationships or getting divorced, by losing their physical health and fitness, but struggle with mental health and cope with drugs or booze. So what are the required changes? Learn to feel gratitude for this present moment, which is what I'm trying to do right now, and not think too much about work, and be present here with Jana. Don't get caught up in the future. Be present. Work with a therapist or a coach that will challenge you to ensure you're doing things for valid reasons rather than because of your ego or fear. Create a list of non-negotiable rules, your personal core values. These rules will navigate every decision in your life. Do not ever violate your own rules. This is where confidence disappears. Do not allow labels like consistency to define you when there isn't a net positive or happiness that comes as a result of being consistent. It's okay to skip once in a while, especially on vacation. We each deserve a pause, so stop fearing judgment from others just because you take a break from something. Use technology to make your business more efficient, gaining back more valuable time. Do not backfill this newly found time with more work. Guilty. Use that time for yourself, doing things that make you happy and fulfilled. Continue to set goals, but also make time to celebrate and savor them. Reward yourself instead of always thinking what's next. Remember this: you won't care about what critics said while you're in your grave. Nobody cares who worked the hardest in your grave. Living a rich life has nothing to do with money or status. The world will be a better place if the world would be a better place if the best you existed. If that made sense, that last part there. So anyhow, I just wanted to throw that in there because that's kind of the mindset that I'm in right now. Consistency. I was telling him, yeah, we got to do Behind the Tool Belt live on the boat. He's like, why don't you just record one? I was like, because we can't do that. He's like, well, I mean, you can't like skip a day, skip a week. I was like, no, we can't do that. But anyhow, all of the other stuff put a lot of stuff in perspective for me when it comes to, and I'm not trying to say it's okay to skip, I don't know, a day in the gym or whatever like that. But, when people say 0 days off, for me, what that means is like, okay, so I read my daily reflections this morning. I read my Daily Dad by Ryan Holiday. There are certain things in my non-negotiables that I can't skip, and that's what I'm getting out of this message. Right, there are some non-negotiables that I can't skip, nor I won't skip. And we talked about standards last week, Chris, and it's like I myself do not want to lower my standards for a situation, and an individual or whatever the case might be. And I've lowered my standards a little bit, right? And that doesn't mean I have to start being a dick or anything like that. But there are certain non-negotiables that we have to set for ourselves personally, and that we have to set for our work environment and things like that if we want to continue to succeed and have impact on other people's lives. And if we don't do these things and have our non-negotiables, this will diminish. And that's probably my biggest fear, is that the culture, the camaraderie, the fellowship, my relationships at home, my relationships at work, my relationships outside of work will diminish the moment I start to lower my standards and lower or not do the things I have to do on a daily basis, my non-negotiables, right? So create your non-negotiables, right? Create your own personal core values, and don't be afraid of other people judging you because you may not go to a certain place, or you choose not to associate yourself with certain individuals or companies, or whatever the case might be, or whatever the situation is. Your belief, whatever your belief is, stand by your belief and create non-negotiables and personal core values, I guess, is the message that I've received from that. Plus there's a couple other things in there too, but I just want to share that with everybody.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. And at the beginning of the show, you said, about how it's important to not put yourself, put your personal needs and all that kind of stuff when it comes to business and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's not about self, right? It's about everyone else. But there is certain aspects of life where you need to be selfish. Being a people pleaser, by nature is tough, because a lot of times, man, I can speak personally on this because I have literally put myself through hell trying to just be the person that's always like saying yes and like, I got you. I was always the one that, growing up, I always had the license. I always did the driving. I always, if a friend doesn't have it and we're going out, like, I got you. I'll pay for your drinks. I'll pay for your food. I was always that guy, man. And like, even in relationships and like all that kind of stuff, like, it's always putting everyone else before my own needs. And like, we can't be ourselves and be what we need to be, in our professional lives, for our families and all that kind of stuff, if we're not a little selfish sometimes. When it comes to, your non-negotiables, when you're building your core values, when you're, trying to figure out what you need to do personally to have that growth, to have that clarity and all that kind of stuff. It's you have to be selfish sometimes. You have to make sure, like you said, man, like you wake up and you do your things in the morning. I have things that are non-negotiable for me too. And unfortunately, Ty, I think that you can attest to this too. It took some really painful lessons in my life to realize what those things are for me. There's certain things that I just can't do. There's certain people that I just can't be around. There's things that I enjoy, that I would love to do, but at the end of the day, like, that's not what I'm about anymore. And if we want to do this thing right, if we want to be consistent and we want to put the right message onto the team, to our families, to my kids especially, man, like I can't stress how important that is, to me personally, on making sure that my kids understand the lengths that I'm willing to go, the things that I'm willing to do to make sure that they're good. You know what I mean? Like we have to make sure that we're holding ourselves accountable, and that we are selfish in those things. When it comes to those that are important to us, there's a lot of people that fit under my umbrella these days, on people that I care about. but my family sit at the top of that. You know what I mean? And I know that you can agree with that, man. Like there is literally nothing on this earth that I would not do to make sure that they're good. And fortunately, because of the consistent acts and the consistent mentality and all that kind of stuff that I've had over the past, year to 2 years here, I don't really have to do too much to maintain that. As it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like, oh man, I got to do this. You know what I mean? Like it's just become a natural habit of acts and actions and, mindsets and that kind of stuff. Like it's a lot easier. But we still have days that it's tough. There's still days that, whether your personal goal is even for people out there that don't have kids, that don't have all that kind of stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. Some people don't care to have kids, they want to live how they want to live, but guaranteed, people still have goals. They still have things that, taking care of yourself, all that kind of stuff. And like you said, man, it's okay to take a day off, but there is some things that, you can't take a day off with, you know what I mean? And a lot of that stuff has to do with mindsets, and like your core values and that kind of stuff. Like you can't take a day off of your core values. If something is important to you, then it needs to be important to you. And if you're able to take a day off from that, then it's not important to you. And that's just being real with yourself. You know what I mean? Like, and unfortunately, sometimes we gotta have some really, really tough conversations inside, and it takes a lot of vulnerability, and sometimes some bad situations and bad experiences to realize that what actually is truly important to you.
Yeah, they'll happen for you.
Right.
Sometimes
it's hard to see that sometimes. Why this is happening for me, because it's very easy to point the finger somewhere else and be like, why did you do this? Why did this was your fault? Or you trace that back enough, man. A lot of times, your actions and the things that you say, how you respond to things. I had a conversation with someone, I think it was like last week. And the point of my conversation was, people are going to do things. You have no control over what people do. You have 100% control of your reaction to what they do. You can't let other people's actions dictate your own character. And at the end of the day, me personally, one of my core values is how I treat people. I want to, no matter what, no matter how somebody treats me, I want to put respect back, because I want my kids to be that way. I want my kids to be respectful, contributing members of society. And dude, can you imagine how easy it would be just to be a shithead to everyone? Because if you're every time something doesn't go your way or someone does you wrong, you're just give negative energy back, like you would literally be miserable. You would just walk around and be miserable all the time. Because I don't know about you, Todd, but there's a lot of things that I can get angry about on a daily basis. There's a lot of things that don't necessarily go exactly how I plan, but at the end of the day, man, you have full control over the energy that you output. You have no control over the input, what comes to you, but you have 100% control of your output. So just maintain that, man, and be consistent.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's good perspective, man. It's our perspective. Plus, this is the other thing too. We don't know what other people are going through too when they act like that. You know what I mean? And that's where I think empathy, because I'm guilty of taking shit out on people that are the wrong people, due to stuffing things and not dealing with things immediately, right? And letting them fester and stuff like that. But that could definitely be a whole nother podcast on self-mastery, right? And
Right.
Trying not to take yourself so damn serious at times, and this is the thing too, man. Life is so short. I mean, it is so damn short, and to be miserable in a short period of time that we're on this earth, right, is just not the way that I choose to live today, man. I try to live life to its fullest. I try not to get hemmed up in that 5%, right, and stay focused on the 95% of the positive energy and positive things that are going on in our lives. And fortunately, food insecurity isn't one of those things that we have to deal with today. And but we do know other people do suffer from that, and for us to get out of our own way, that was one of the things that we've chose to focus on is other people's food insecurity. And that's probably why we don't suffer from that today. And that's been one of the lessons within the lessons that I've learned. And I'm sure you've learned too, from just doing the 21 turkey salute and putting yourself in other people's shoes. And there was a time where, I did suffer from food insecurity. And I don't, it's not a good place to be. It's hard to think. And like you talked about earlier, putting a smile on somebody's face, that could have been the energy, the uplifting that they needed to go out and put in 3 more applications, or to carry them through another day where they were contemplating suicide, or whatever the case might be. Right. Like, I think that's a good message, Chris, that we should leave everybody with is like, make it your job to put a smile on somebody else's face today. Because that might be the only smile that they see.
Yes. If everyone had that mentality, man, every day, if everyone on this earth just made it a goal to put a smile on one person's face, can you understand the impact and the ripple effect that would have, bro? It just goes back to, I'm gonna repeat it again. What Ed Milet said, man. People just want to be cared about. They want to know that people care about them. He always used the analogy like McDonald's Happy Meal. It sells people that they're selling smiles, man. People just want to smile. They want to be happy. It doesn't matter who you are, what you believe in, what's your race, anything, your political views. Like all that shit doesn't matter at all. At the end of the day, there is not a single person on this earth that can honestly say that they don't enjoy to be happy. Like they don't enjoy smiling. And one of the biggest things that brings smile to people's faces, random acts of kindness. It's much easier to be put in a situation like it, for me personally. Okay. I can speak on me personally. It is a lot. Like I get the warm fuzzies, a lot easier from a random act of kindness than a person that I see on a daily basis that like is close in my household. Now, don't get that twisted. I absolutely love the people that are in my household. I love them to death. I love them everything. But, a random act of kindness from my significant other. Okay. Yes, it makes me happy, but I'm not going to like gush and be like, oh, that was so sweet. You know what I mean? As much as like, it's just some stranger comes up to you and does something kind for you. You know what I mean? Like that you get left with that for a little while more, and it's contagious. You know what I mean? If you go out of your way just to be a good person to people and put a smile on someone's face, man, it would have a huge impact. It would have a huge impact.
It really would. I think they did a study. I watched this thing a long time ago where random acts of kindness, it does have a ripple effect. Like someone is more likely to pose a random act of kindness onto someone else if somebody did so to them. You know what I mean? There was like this thing on the street where they were showing people doing nice things for other people, and then that person walking away doing something nice for somebody else as well. So like you said, it is contagious. And maybe we should all take this as a lesson this morning to perform random acts of kindness, not necessarily for yourself, but for them and the person that they're going to impact after you've impacted them.
Yeah, that's a good goal for everyone watching live or everyone watching on the replay. Go do some nice shit to somebody random for no reason, nothing in return.
Exactly. No, that's good. It's good stuff. We're about an hour and 6 minutes into this. Thank you everybody for bearing with us and getting up early to tune in with us. I'm not exactly sure how many people have watched this yet. I'm sure a lot of people will have time to watch it throughout the course of the day today and tomorrow and for the rest of the week. But thank you guys, our loyal listeners, for tuning in. I see David Bruner's on here. Big shout out to him, and ABC 27, Zach Fisher, Vic, Jay Bradley. The list goes on of people that have commented in here. Colin, thank you for everything that you've done. You also have helped build our family here at TC Backer Construction. So thank you for everything. James, Knob, Brad Whitlock. Brad, I'll let you know if I get any scuba in while we're here. I am now scuba certified, so I definitely know we're going in January. Vic and I wanted to put that out there too. I think January 15th we'll be live in Cayman. And then I have a special speaking engagement coming up at Hook Agency, Tim Brown's office in Minnesota. We'll be heading from Cayman to Minnesota that week. January 17th, we'll be in Minnesota, probably live that Friday in Minnesota. Cash Flow Kings is the name of his event out there in Minnesota. So that should be pretty cool to participate in that with some of the biggest, heaviest hitters in our industry. David Carroll will be there. I think Mike Goldenstein, Ty Meredith with MHI Roofing, Ugly Roof out there in Pittsburgh. He'll be there in Minnesota with us. So anyhow, another fantastic episode. Chris, thank you for coming on. Thank you for everything that you do. Hold the fort down for us till we get back. Jana says, only call us if the building's on fire.
I'm calling the fire department, Jana. I'm not calling call the cops, man.
Then call us.
Then I'll call you.
You know, you can, we're only a phone call away always.
Yeah.
So
we got this, brother.
Love you guys. Thank you so much. I'm still choked up from that video. I think my eyes are falling from it. But anyhow, I love you guys. Thank you. Till next week, take care of each other. Next week will be episode 259. In 2 weeks will be our episode 260, which will be our 5-year mark. I think Vic's got some things in the works for our 5th year anniversary behind Tool Belt. He won't let me see what's going on, or let me see what he's doing back there. But I'm sure if I took a peek, I could find it. It's kind of like Christmas, like kids go snooping around their parents' closet and shit, trying to figure out what they got for Christmas. I wouldn't do that to him. But anyhow, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Till next week, we will take care of each other and take care of yourselves.
Yep. See you guys.
See ya.